ESPN is making a habit of hiring incompetent buffoons to their network. Individuals like David Dennis Jr., the son of a civil rights activist who has literally zero experience in a sports setting, yet is being called upon on first take to be an expert and a pundit on sports while Stephen A. Smith is on vacation. There's some other random lady on there with him. By the way, I haven't watched First Take probably in a year because the show got so darn bad that it became hard to stomach, even with Stephen A. Smith and people who actually know sports. This is what they have now when he's on vacation and all the real sports people are away. They bring on a civil rights activist's son. So, someone who's been indoctrinated to have this type of warped mindset and warped thought process that somehow cannot give credit to Caitlin Clark, even to the point where the man says, I cannot come up with any idea of how you could think Caitlin Clark is a top four guard in the WNBA. And we're going to play this video along with some video from Stacey Dales, who came on the next day and absolutely skewered him because he changed his he moved the goalpost from his own criteria. And we're going to discuss this right here. This video could run a little bit longer than some others because I really want to get into the minutia of this one, because this is just another example of what ESPN has done to their network. You have clown upon clown upon clown upon clown that you bring up there as they destroy piece by piece the cash cow of the WNBA, which seems to be what their goal is at this point. While at the same time, Caitlin Clark brings the best ratings to their network when she plays. So the warped thought process that exists here, I don't even I it's hard to understand, but really what it comes down to is flat out pure racism. I mean, it's racism. There's no other way to explain it anymore other than folks are racist, bluntly. Let's talk about this. Welcome back, everyone, to Indiana Fever Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I'm your host, Rudy Rodriguez Show. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, and leave your comments. Hype the video. I want to know what you guys. I want to know what you think about this, man. So yeah, please bear in mind, this is going to take a little bit. So I want to play all these things, and I'm going to react to them. So let's jump on with what initially started this firestorm with, um, whatever the freaking hell his name is, David Dennis Jr., to where we are right now. Let's jump in. So here is David Dennis Jr. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to play the video in the background. I'm going to bring it up first. Let me do this. Here's the video just to show you his partner up on the stage with him. I don't know who this lady is. That's why, like I said, I haven't seen First Take in forever. But I'm going to play his stuff. You'll hear it in the background. And we'll go from there because I don't want to have this thing pulled down because First Take or ESPN wants to do something silly or whatever. So let me play this in the background. Let me play this in the background for y'all.
So I want to make sure that we're sort of clear on the nuance of the voting here, right? That's an important part of this. They didn't say that she was the 11th best guard in the WNBA. That's not what happened. As you mentioned, a lot of people didn't get.
I love how he started off with that part. He thinks he's so cute, as if people don't know that you vote for 4 players. She got the 11th most votes. We all know what it is, and that made her the 11th highest vote getter. That's literally no different than being voted for the All-Star team by the fans, being voted by the media. We all know what it is, but he thinks he's smarter than everybody else, so he has to say it that way. Let's continue.
Ballots, a lot of people didn't vote, but what they did, they voted for the top 4 guards in the league. That was what the All-Star ballot was. So people were voting for top 4. I don't think that you can make a compelling argument that Caitlin Clark is a top 4 guard in the WNBA.
And that's where he just, I mean, just flat out stuck on stupid. You don't think that you can make a compelling argument for Caitlin Clark being a top 4 guard in the WNBA. That's what he said. When he said this, she was fourth in the league in scoring, second in assists, first in points created for for her team, first in steals amongst guards. You don't think that's a compelling argument for her to be for her to be a top 4 guard, not be number 1, not be number 2, not number 3, but be a top 4 guard. But you can make a compelling argument for other players that she has better statistics than, who are guarded differently than her. You can make a compelling argument for Ryan Howard, even though Caitlin Clark shoots a higher percentage than Ryan Howard, averages more points than Ryan Howard, averages more assists than Ryan Howard, averages more rebounds than Ryan Howard. Literally every statistical category for the most part, outside of steals, you can that's so you can make an argument for, oh, because she plays better defense. Is that what you're going to tell me? But that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life. You don't have to like somebody, but to sit here and say with a straight face that you can't make a compelling argument, then you're an incompetent buffoon. Like I could make a compelling argument on just about anything in the world, on almost any topic in the world. And you're supposed to be an educated man, and you can't make a compelling argument as to why the fourth leading scorer, second in assists, best statistical across the board as an offensive player, let's put it that way, offensive player, statistically a top 25 defensive player by the WNBA, you can't make a compelling argument for that? Let's continue.
Nobody can at this point. That is
Nobody.
why she was 11. She got the 11th
He said nobody can.
most votes for being in the top 4. So there's really no controversy about that, because especially when you add in the fact that she is one of the most popular players in the WNBA. She's going to make the All-Star team. That is not the argument here. I think what bothers me is when this is framed as some sort of like petty jealousy or insecurity by these women in the WNBA, because that's not what
That's exactly what it is, sir. I'm sorry that you just started watching basketball yesterday.
seeing what's happening with Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is experiencing pretty much what happens anytime a young player comes into the league with a lot of hype, especially the hype that she's receiving that says all of these, the whole entire league basically should be thankful that she's there. She's going to
The entire league should be thankful that she's there, because if she hadn't shown up, the entire league would still be running on $80,000 a year contracts and a $250,000 max salary and a television deal that no one gave two poops about. He just said this happens to every young player coming in with hype. It didn't happen to Cooper Flagg. It didn't happen to Zion Williamson. It didn't happen to Anthony Davis. It didn't happen to LeBron James. It didn't happen to Sabrina Ionescu. It didn't happen to Paige Beckers last year. It didn't happen to who the hell was the first pick this year? AZ Fudd. Didn't happen to her. Didn't happen to Aaliyah Boston. It didn't happen to Ryan Howard. These were all the number 1 overall picks in their drafts, by the way. I'm sure he doesn't even know that. It didn't happen to Asia Wilson, Kelsey Plum, Jackie Young, Brittany Griner. Didn't happen to any of these people. But in his mind, Candace Parker, it didn't happen to these people. But in his mind, this is normal for people to go out of their way to try to take folk out on the court, and then in a player vote say, oh, you're not an all-star. You're not that good. But at the same time, guarding her all over the floor, differently than they guard anybody else. And that's what he's standing on. Let's continue.
be the best player that you've ever seen. Whenever this happens in any league, in any sport, in any gender, there is backlash to that, because there are players.
Again, that's not true. Aaron Judge didn't get backlash. Shohei Ohtani didn't get backlash. I'm going to baseball now. Like, how many sports do I got to hit? Cam Ward didn't experience this last year. No one's ever experienced the crap that Caitlin Clark has had to experience in any sport in the last 45 years. If you want to go back to when we were still in segregation and dealing with that type of thing, I mean, sure. You want to go back to Jackie Robinson? Sure. But that was something totally different. We're talking about people, a player getting treated a certain way because she's white and she's straight and there's a lot of jealousy and people hate on her.
Who are there, who are saying, we built this, show me what you got. And they target that player. That happens all the time.
No, it doesn't. We built this. First of all, my guy, David Dennis Jr., you built what? A shithole league that hasn't had anyone watch it for over a quarter century? So you built a shithole league that hasn't averaged 200,000 fans watching games before she got there for a quarter of a century. There was a 5-year period where the WNBA was good in the beginning and a large gap where the WNBA was complete and utter trash and nobody watched it. Teams were being cut constantly, going out of business, dissolved. The league went from eight teams, ended up being, I think, 16, and then basically contracted back down to 8 at one point. And now they've started to rebuild it again and try to add teams here and there while half their teams still play in closets, while their teams were still flying charter jets, while the Chicago Sky still don't have a practice facility, while the Connecticut Sun were playing in a freaking in the Mohegan, which is a casino arena, while the Vegas Aces still play in a casino arena, while the Dallas Wings still playing a 6,500 seat Band-Aid box, while the Washington Mystics still playing a 4,000 seat arena, while the freaking Atlanta Dream, with this probably a second most well-known basketball player in the league, still play in a gym that is suitable for junior colleges and large high schools. Yeah, that's the league that you still got right now. The Chicago Sky play in front of 9,500 people. They never fill it, but that's what they play in front of. That's the seating there. The Minnesota Lynx have the black tarp around their building every single game still. Seattle, same crap every single game. So you add a couple of new teams like Golden State, and you add Portland, and they're getting people to come watch them naturally because they're a new team. But Toronto's also a new team, and they're playing in a building that seats 9,000 people. About the only team that drew people, has been drawing people, is the New York Liberty. And even then, Caitlin Clark brought a bump to them because before she got there, they were averaging 10,000. Now they're averaging 16, 17. That wasn't because of them. Like, you're disingenuous, dude. You're full of shit, bro. It's embarrassing.
Michael Jordan had the freeze out in the Olympics where they would not pass him the ball. LeBron James, when he got in the league and he was the chosen one.
He just said Michael Jordan had the freeze out in the Olympics. What the hell does the Olympics have to do? The 1984 Olympics have to do with Michael Jordan in the NBA? Because the Olympics, he was still in college. They still sent college players to the Olympics back in 1984, whatever year that was, in 84. What are you talking about, bro? What are you talking about? Oh, by the way, Caitlin Clark didn't make the Olympic team because they said it was too physical. And now their league is too soft, according to Raven Johnson, where she can't defend anybody. The too physical league is now soft and calls everything. Remember, she didn't even make the team. That because they didn't like her. And they put 6 players that she had better statistics than at the time they decided it. This guy's a clown, man. This is the shit that they put on television now for ESPN. That's why ESPN programming is terrible. It's terrible. It's unwatchable. If it wasn't for the fact that there are sports on the channel, I would never turn the channel on. I don't even watch Sports Center anymore. It's not worth it. because they always bring on imbeciles like this guy right here who has no sports experience. He's never been in a locker room. He works for the BLM website, Anscape. That's all that website is. The Atlantic. Like, if you work for the Atlantic, as far as I'm concerned, you have no credibility. You have no credibility if you work for the Atlantic. Because I already know what you're about. You practicing freaking civil rights, bro. This is sports, bro. You're always on the side of, there's racism against Black America all the time. Hey, it exists. It exists, certainly. We'll never disagree with that. But cut this shit, man. This guy's a joke, man. The fact that they brought this guy on, I mean, Stephen A. Smith, bro, he's lost his show. His show is garbage now. And I don't know who this chick is, by the way. I still don't know who the hell she is.
They were physical with LeBron James. When we're talking about Wemby right now, we're talking about a guy, the best way to attack him is with physicality.
This guy's a moron. He said they were physical with LeBron James. LeBron James was 245 pounds. LeBron James was 6'8", 245 pounds. LeBron James is bigger than Karl Malone. When LeBron got to the NBA, he was the size of Karl Malone. By year 2 or 3, he was 15 or 20 pounds heavier than Karl Malone ever was. They were physical with LeBron James? Is that what you're going to sit here and tell me, guy? How old is David Dennis Jr.? That's the one thing I didn't check on him. I looked him up pretty thoroughly. Lord have mercy. All he is an author. That's literally what he is. Oh my God. He can't find his date of birth because he doesn't have much on him. Like, most personalities, you could probably look me up and find all my information. This guy's not even, he's not even 40 yet, according to this. This guy's might be turning 40. Maybe he's 40. He's talking about stuff from before he was born. He's talking about Michael Jordan at the Olympics before he was born. Bro, you're clown, bro. Clown.
And to beat him up. Candace Parker was in the middle of a riot in the middle of a WNBA game in her rookie year because they were attacking her because she was coming in as a prospective GOAT in the league. This happens.
And you know what? The second she punched that girl in the face, it stopped. And that's what I've been calling for Caitlin Clark to do from year one, punch somebody back. That's the difference. Candace Parker's like, you ain't going to try me like that, and took that girl down and slammed her ass to the ground. But she didn't experience what Caitlin Clark's going through. You need to stop this, dude. You're crazy.
Angel Reese, by the way, is somebody who came in with Caitlin Clark, who has experienced flagrant twos, who Alyssa Thomas also basically chokeslammed and threw on the ground last year. Like, this is something that happened.
That wasn't last year. It was 2 years ago. And yeah, she did. And you know what Angel Reese also did? She clotheslined Caitlin Clark. Yeah. And Alyssa Thomas got ejected from that game. Alyssa Thomas wasn't even called for a foul against Caitlin Clark.
Across sports. And Caitlin Clark, to her credit, is not somebody who is going out there and begging for something to be done. When this play happened, she got up and ran back to the other side of the court because Caitlin Clark just wants to play basketball.
He's lying. She immediately looked to her. When she got up, the backside ref was next to her, and she literally was talking right to the ref, and she ran back on defense. So he's lying. He don't even know what's going on. He needs to rewatch it. He probably never watched the game.
She doesn't want congressional hearings about her being fouled.
That I would agree with. That's the one thing I would agree with.
She doesn't want you to call in the National Guard when there is a foul on her. She wants to play basketball. She wants to deal with the physicality. She just wants it called correctly. And the WNBA has.
Oh, wow. She just wants it called correctly. Oh, wow. Wow. That's the second truthful thing you said there. Okay. That's all we've ever asked for, was that it's called correctly.
As a referee problem where they're not calling these across the board. But this is not some issue where she is a victim of anything. If anything, she is a victim of people using her and bad faith and using her to target these women when Caitlin Clark herself just wants to play basketball.
All right. So let's get to the next one. That was David Dennis Jr. And now we're going to get to the response